Iran's new defense minister Aziz Nasirzadeh, which was appointed to serve under the administration of the newly elected President Masoud Pezeshkian, has proposed that the country develop a vertical landing-capable fighter aircraft. Such aircraft use rotating engine nozzles, sometimes paired with vertical lift fans, to direct thrust downwards, thereby facilitating takeoffs either vertically or over short distances and vertical landings. Only 3 fighter classes with vertical landing capabilities have ever entered service, including the British Harrier, the American F-35B and the Soviet Yak-38, with the technological requirements to achieve such performances, and the design compromises necessary to do so, being significant. Such aircraft are valued both for their ability to deploy from aircraft carriers with short runways and no resting gear, such as the American Wasp class or Soviet Kiev class, as well as for their lack of vulnerability to the destruction of airfields, allowing them to continue to operate close to the front lines under circumstances which would leave conventional fighters inoperable. For Iran's military aviation sector, the development of a vertical landing-capable fighter appears likely to present very serious challenges. Although the country placed its first indigenous fighter plane into serial production in 2018, the Kosar light fighter, the very small aircraft's performance remains highly limited, with many combat trainers such as the Chinese JL-10 and South Korean T-50 seen to have superior combat capabilities. Nevertheless, Defense Minister Nasirzadeh is far from an uninformed source, and having served as commander of the Iranian Air Force from 2018 to 21, he has a long history flying the country's most capable fighter planes. This dates back to the 1980s, when he serves as a weapons systems officer on a U.S.-supplied F-14A fighters in the 1980-88 Iran-Iraq War, before subsequently becoming an F-14 pilot. Iran notably fields no post-Cold War fighter classes in its fleet, the large majority of which is comprised of Vietnam War-era F-4 and F-5 fighters. The country's efforts in the 1990s to rebuild its fleet using Soviet fighters having been thwarted after the USSR's disintegration, with post-Soviet Russia having proven highly susceptible to Western pressure not to export armaments to the country. This leaves the fleet with room to accommodate multiple squadrons of new fighters, even if the expected follow-up orders for 64 Russian Su-35 fighters are eventually placed. An Iranian effort to develop a vertical landing-capable fighter is far from unthinkable. Although its fighter industry has achieved few notable feats, beyond servicing and modernizing US and Soviet-supplied fighters with domestic parts and avionics, the country's drone capabilities have proven to be cutting-edge, with its stealth drones having proven highly survivable in heavily defended enemy airspace on multiple occasions. Nevertheless, vertical landing technologies have taken established aviation powers decades to develop, particularly to reach standards where they can be used without very excessively comprising the capabilities of the fighters in question. Both the Yak-38 and the Harrier had very limited combat capabilities, with the latter also proving highly accident-prone, with the Soviet Yak-41 being the first fighter to complete development with a respectable combat performance in the 1990s, followed by the F-35B, which gained an initial operating capability in the late 2010s.